Hello and welcome to the WB Mason Coaches Report with head men's basketball coach Mo Cassara. Welcome, Coach.
Stephen, thank you.
Well, we recapped the season and the last week here today. Coach, you went down to the conference tournament, faced Delaware in the quarterfinals. First, your overall thoughts on the weekend and the game against Delaware.
Well, really proud of the way our team competed, the way that our players continued to fight throughout the course of the year. I thought our staff did a terrific job putting a great game plan in place, and had a lead at halftime down at Delaware, or against Delaware down at Richmond, the number 2 seed, and a team that's very, very talented. And I thought we did a terrific job. Ultimately came down to some key turnovers and a few missed free throws and things, but we put ourselves in a position to have an opportunity to win. So from that standpoint, I'm very proud of our guys.
We'll get back to the game in a minute, but let's first talk about the week. Conference banquet, Stephen Mejia, CAL defensive team, DeQuan Brown, CAL academic team, Matt Grogan, nominee for the Dean Ehlers Leadership Award. Can you talk about those three and the awards they received that night?
Well, certainly really proud of all of them. Stevie was a defensive terror really all year. Great, one of the better steal guys in the league, and really a great motor for us all year with his defensive effort and his continued hard work, and a guy that played 40 minutes almost every night, night in and night out. Daquan's done a terrific job off the court in academics. He's online to graduate here in May, so very proud of him. And Matty Grogan's certainly one of the truly great people we've had in this program. Certainly didn't show up in all the stats books or the box scores, but what he's done for this program on and off the court speaks volumes.
Quickly to Stephen Mejia, obviously you've been coaching for quite a while now. The last 2 months, from like start of conference play until the end of the season, have you ever seen a player make such a transformation to just ultimately to put the team on their back and try to will them to victories when he could?
Yeah, Stevie had to wear a lot of hats. He had to wear a lot of hats. He had to be the point guard. He had to share the ball. He had to be the leader. He had to take a lot of the brunt of the coaching all the time, and also really try to guide a lot of guys who had to play different positions and different roles this year. And very proud of his effort on and off the court. He's been a terrific young man to coach. He's already graduated. Very proud of him. He's working on his master's degree, and he's going to be a very successful guy throughout his career and his life.
Back to the game, very tight game, like every game in this conference tournament was and is. Just an amazing conference tournament. Every game decided by 6 points or less so far, heading into Monday night's championship game. What ultimately was the difference down the stretch? Was it the free throw shooting, some key turnovers?
Yeah, well, I think it was those things that we already mentioned without question. I don't want to take anything away from Delaware. They were the 2nd seed in the league, a team that won a lot of games. I think, their inside-outside duo, maybe one of the best in the mid-major level, and certainly Hagen's one of the better big guys in the country, and Sadler, I think, will be one of the premier guards in the country next year coming back. So they had a lot of talent, so I want to give them a lot of credit. But our team battled. We really fought and fought our way through and got down a little bit and came back and had a lead at halftime and managed to put ourselves in a position to win. Ultimately, they just made a few more plays than we did down the stretch.
Yeah, down the stretch, you guys kept coming back after they built a 10-point lead, and you got it back down. They took another lead. Did you feel like at any point going down the stretch, this might be our day, this might be Hofstra's day?
Well, I really did. I told our guys in the 4-minute media timeout, I thought we were right where we needed to be. I thought the pressure could shift back to them with one stop and a basket, and we were that close. And we were that close all year, and that's something that, we're going to have to really, as a staff and a group, really look at and try to analyze and figure out a way to win a lot of these close games next year.
Yeah, double-digit close games this year, including, the final game of the year versus Delaware. Even down to the last possession, they go in for a breakaway layup to seal the game, and they miss the dunk. It comes almost all the way back to half court. Mejia drains a 3. Even at that moment, you're saying, like, this still could be our day, even there's seconds left.
Our team continued to battle all year. Every little bounce that did go our way, we definitely try to take advantage of, and there was another example of that. But again, I can't say enough about this group. What they've been through, what we've been through on and off the court, the challenges, the injuries, the various things. This has been a group that really hung together and that played hard every day. I think every game we were in, we felt like we could win, and for that I'm really proud of these guys' efforts.
The program says goodbye to 3 seniors we've already discussed. Stephen Mejia and Matt Grogan. Can you say a little about David Imes and what he gave you guys this year? His versatility was really key.
Yeah, well, David's been a guy who's been with me here from day one. David started every game that he was healthy since I was here, so he had a great opportunity, and I can't thank him enough for all of his time and countless hours and effort that he's put in from the minute I got here. And again, he's a guy this year that really, sacrificed a lot for this team. A guy who's really a power forward who at times was playing the off-guard spot, and had to handle the ball a lot and play some different positions and play on the perimeter a little bit more. But another guy who's on track to graduate, very proud of him, and just a wonderful, wonderful young man, and really, really proud that I've had an opportunity to coach him.
Now you head into the most important part of the season, the off season, when everyone gets better. You head in there with some little bit of uncertainty in regards to Stephen Walcone recovering from his injury and surgery, but there's some optimism with the way Musa Kone closed the season. Teron Bowie kind of breaking out of his slump a little bit there. Jordan Allen really developing his game. Can you talk about those guys and Stephen Walcone?
I think we've got some really good young pieces. We've really got some young pieces. I think Musa Kone's last week of the regular season was as good as any big guy in the league. I think a lot of coaches recognize that. I think Delaware recognized it. They did everything they could to really take him away and our inside game away in the game on Saturday. So Musa's development's been terrific. You mentioned a couple of the other young guys got a lot of valuable minutes this year, and statistically some of them weren't where we'd like them to be, but I think they're going to be moving forward because they're going to work real hard, and we're going to work to develop them during the off season. And Stephen, his timetable is a little bit uncertain. He had surgery. It'll be 2 weeks ago already on this coming Thursday. And he's about 4 to 6 months out, depending on when contact can begin and when he can start actually shooting a basketball. But a pretty significant injury, so we'll obviously monitor that through the spring and the summer, and then hopefully have him back in workouts towards the tail end of the summer.
Everything being well, meaning healthy and everything, what is the ultimate role for Stephen Walcone, the center spot on in this starting rotation next year?
Yeah, I think Stephen, he showed that he can be one of the best rebounders in the league. I mean, he had a lot of double-digit rebounds when he played enough minutes, and I think that he's kind of settled into that role and realizes what he needs to do, and I think his physical presence is as strong as anybody's in the league. So we're excited to get him back healthy. I think he's already a senior, which is hard to believe, and I think he sees a great leadership opportunity for him and a new role for him. So we're excited about his progress and obviously wishing him the best and get him healthy as soon as possible.
Musa Kone will be a junior next season. What's the role you see his game developing to now, and what position really?
Yeah, I mean, he's another front court guy that I think is going to become dynamic. I think he's a guy that can step away from the basket a little bit. I think he's got to use his athleticism as we hopefully can play a little faster and do some of the things that we had intended to do during the year. Musa had a great early part of the season and finished with a real strong part of the season. He's got a lot of work to do. He's got a lot of work to continue to develop, but I think his athleticism, his drive, his motor, his energy can be some of the best in the league.
And then another front court player, kind of your most versatile player on the roster, Jordan Allen. Where do you see his game developing? Where do you think he really needs to improve upon to become the player he should?
I think Jordan, redshirt freshman, one of the things, I think a lot of his development, his progress doesn't necessarily show up in the box scores every day, but he played an incredible amount of minutes. He played out of position a lot. He had to play away from the basket probably more than he's ever been comfortable doing. I think that's going to help his progress moving forward, and he's obviously a guy that we think can be one of the better defenders in the league using his versatility. He got a lot of minutes this year, a lot of experience, so we're looking forward to building on that and now really developing some of the skills he needs to be a really effective player in this league.
And then your top guard returning will be a junior next season, Teron Bowie. You talk about him, he started off very strong, went through a little slump, and sort of near the end of the regular season / conference tournament, broke out of that slump and played extremely hard in the conference tournament game.
Yeah, I'm really proud of Teron. I mean, he's been a very resilient guy. He's come to work every day in practice and really continued to gain a lot of experience. This was really like a freshman year for him. This is his first full year of college basketball, and he learned a lot. I think that he was the key to every team's defensive attack, and he faced a lot of physical play. I think for him, it's a big offseason of developing his body and certainly developing some of the skills that we know he has to become really one of the dynamic scorers in this league.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate it.
And thank you for joining us on the WB Mason Coaches Report with head men's basketball coach Cassara.